name's Hemingway Jones, and welcome to the channel. Today we need to talk about something. Now, hold on a second. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're not going to do a product review. We're going to talk about an ink. And we're not going to go into the properties or the colors, even though it is a great ink. I mean, it's well known in the fountain pen community just how great this ink is. But no, we're going to talk about how this ink is a game changer, how it can fix many problems with some pens, how it can make your whole writing experience better. Basically, we're going to speak about how this ink can change your life. Well, if not your life, at least your writing. And that's something. It's a big part of my life. Well, the only issue is, if we're going to be speaking about this in this video, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Is it Iroshizuku? Does somebody know how to say this? How to pronounce this correctly? I've seen like 3 different versions of how to say it online. And I know I'm going to get a lot of criticism in the comments, but okay, I'm looking right at it. I'm just going to read it. Iroshizuku. Iroshizuku. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Let's just call it kon-peki, shall we? So why is this important? And it is. This is very important. This is probably secret weapon for fountain pens. So you really need to know about this stuff. If you don't, please drop me a like below and share this with somebody else who you think might enjoy it. I'd appreciate it. Let's go back and talk about a pen. And this is a pen I just bought. I bought it from Peyton Street Pens, and it's a Conway Stewart. And I'm sure at some point I'll do some more content on this. So you'll get a whole review and everything else, history. Right now I don't know a whole lot about it, I'll be honest. I bought it because it's pretty. I do that sometimes, aesthetically. I see a pen, I gotta have it. This one is gorgeous. It's burgundy, probably looks a bit pink. But here's the thing. Peyton Street, which is a great company. I trust these guys so much. I buy a lot from them. And they have really nice description of the pen. They say it's a great writer, right? So I get it and I fill it with, this. Another thing I can't pronounce. Another thing you're all going to excoriate me for in the comments. But I'll do my best. All right, so you can see why I filled it with this, right? It's Poussière de Lune. Poussière de Lune. Poussière de Lune? Are any of these correct? Anyway, no one sees these videos anyway. I don't even have to worry. I could say anything. Nobody's watching. If you're watching, can you please leave me a comment down below? I'd appreciate it. Okay, so I'm obsessive, and you can see why I use this ink in this pen. Now, what you might not know, maybe you do know this. I mean, it's fairly common knowledge, but okay. I put that ink in this pen, and I felt really good about myself. And at first, because I just filled it, and the nib is all full of the ink, and it's writing really nice. I got this like purplish eggplant color, if you will. Love this color. Matches the pen perfect. It's ticking all my OCD boxes. So I'm feeling great about myself. But here's the problem. You write for a while and suddenly it gets muddy. It feels like sledge. It's not, I mean, it has a bit of a flex in the nib. Nothing's happening. False starts. And I'm thinking, what happened to this pen? What is wrong? It's got to be the pen. It can't be me. It has to be the pen, right? Right? Yeah, it was me. I think it's always me. I think it's probably never the pen, right? It's probably always me. But it was definitely me. So I put the wrong ink in. There's nothing wrong with Gerabon. It's just that Gerabon plus Conway Stewart does not make a nice pairing. And that happens sometimes. So suddenly you think, all right, my pen is broken. But there's one thing that fixes it all the time, every time. When you have the slow writing, dry pen with the false starts and the bad runs out when you flex it, all these problems. The one thing that fixes it, do you remember what it is? Of course you do. This, kon-peki. Kon-peki. Fill it up with this. Changes everything. So let's have a look, right? Probably looks nicer as a bottle than the box. So here we go. This is magic fountain pen formula right here, kon-peki. And it's true that it's different in each pen, and sometimes it looks different too, right? Sometimes the blues look more blue in one pen than another because the flow's different. But the flow of this is so good. It's the magic weapon. And it totally fixed this pen. It wasn't writing well. I wasn't happy. I couldn't imagine there was anything wrong with it. It had been totally fixed before I got it. So, and I couldn't have screwed it up that fast. And with all due respect to Bond, because I mean, these are great inks too, it just didn't work in this pen. And the one advantage, the secret formula, the secret advantage of kon-peki is it just works in everything. And it works awesome in everything. Although I wonder if something really flew. I have a Schaefer pen that really flows wet. I mean, it's the wettest pen you can imagine. You write with it, you leave it for 10 minutes, you go back, and it's still wet. In fact, if you write with it and you close your journal, you're going to get the negative imprint on the other side. So if you put this in there, it might be too much. So maybe that's an argument for the Bond. But it's something that you guys should know about if you don't. And that's why I figured I'd do this quick video for you today. Kon-peki, magic ink. Everyone should have it. Maybe you should have 3 bottles. By the way, it was another pen too. Hold on. Okay, same thing. Waterman, 52.5. So after I went through the whole thing with the Conway Stewart, I was writing today with the Waterman, 52.5. Do you know about the Waterman 52.5? This is a brilliant pen, hardened rubber, flexible nib. It's almost like writing with a paintbrush. It's very expressive. Your writing looks vintage because it has these accents where it flexes and it goes really thin. And if you write with a little panache, it looks really dramatic and interesting. Fantastic pen. Everyone should own one. And the other thing that's nice is it's a bit more affordable than the Waterman 52. So you can pick these up much less because they're smaller. So since this has a flexible nib, and I was flexing it quite a bit, the feed, being a vintage feed, should be able to keep up, but it wasn't. And why wasn't it? Because I had this in there. This is Diamine Vivaldi. It's a nice ink. It's beautiful. It's also coincidentally kind of similar to the Poussière de Lune. Can you tell me how to pronounce that in the comments, please, if anybody's watching this? So they're similar. They're both on the purple eggplant range, if you will. This is definitely closer to black, and this is a bit more pure purple. So even though they have that in common, I don't think that's the reason why they were mucking up both pens. However, this pen, the 52.5, flexing, running out false starts, and then you're shaking it, you're rubbing it on a notebook to get it started so you can go back to your journal. But it occurred to me, since I had just fixed the Conway Stewart yesterday with kon-peki. Kon-peki. Should I do it in this hand? Kon-peki. That I should try it in here. I've never used the ink in here. And it's brilliant. It's not, there's no false starts. It's writing with an incredible flourish. It's energetic. I'm able to write really precisely and also thick, get a nice line variation, everything that you want out of a vintage flex, courtesy of kon-peki. Now, this is a revelation, but it's also a problem. I mean, should I just fill up every pen with kon-peki? I mean, that's boring, but it seems like it's the only ink I should use. And it also brings up a question. And now I have to pronounce it again, so I'm literally going to look right at it. Iroshizuku. How was that? Was that close? Iroshizuku. It was better the first time. Okay, what about their other inks? Do they flow as well as kon-peki? Or is it just kon-peki? I'm going to have to find out. Where this has taken me is that I'm starting to think that this should be my primary ink brand. Where before it was Diamine. But this stuff is like magic. It's made me love 2 pens. And this pen, small though it is, fantastic to write with. I end up getting frustrated, cleaning it, and putting it away because of the false starts. But the kon-peki has eliminated those entirely. That's amazing to me. That's a game changer. So, what else? The Conway Stewart, rehabilitated. I was thinking I had made a mistake. I bought a bad pen or something. No, it's not a bad pen. It needed this. So You need this. Everyone needs this. But are there other colors that do the same? If you know of any other inks that flow so well they fix your pens, please let me know in the comments. I'm just trying to gather as much information as I can about fountain pens, writing, and I'll pass it along to you here at YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you know other inks as good as kon-peki for fixing pens. Also, you can find me on TikTok, Hemingway Jones. I do quite a few reviews and quick stuff over there. You can also find me at Instagram at Hemingway_Jones. And of course, you can find me here at YouTube. YouTube, I consider my primary home, even though nobody sees this. So please like and comment if you're out there. Say hello so I know you're out there. And let's begin a dialogue. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.